I'm going to step into Sherlock then. And I'm going to mention some things, different times in the episodes you're in, because you're in like 3 episodes at least. Um, so I'm going to mention things, and I would like to hear like personal memories or anything that you can add
Cool.
to it. Like, can you share anything from the wedding, John and Mary's wedding? Any personal
Oh,
memories or
well,
funny moments?
yeah, it was, to be honest with you, it was probably one of the most fun times I've ever had in any job ever. And I mean that like as in, jobs where I wasn't even in the industry, when I was just working in offices and stuff like that. It was absolutely glorious. All of us that were involved in those scenes, like the big wedding scenes, they had a kind of a green room, which wasn't really a green room, it was like a tent at the side, outside in kind of like this grassy area. So we all just went in there when we had breaks and sat around and laughed and played charades and just messed about. And it was just absolutely lovely. And in the evenings we'd go and we'd have dinner together, and it was a really inclusive, friendly, awesome bunch of people to work with, and I still, to this day, it's one of the best jobs I've ever been on, just in terms of fun and laughing. We all felt like we were on a holiday. So I really lovely memories of it.
All right, and then maybe dancing, because I've seen some videos, some interesting, and it looked like they could be offset when it wasn't recording, like Benedict dancing around crazy, and I'm thinking that maybe that could be from the wedding that they didn't add to it. Was there a lot of clowning around and dancing, outtakes, or anything like that during the shooting?
I remember when we were dancing together, I remember we both had to count each other in because we couldn't remember when to come in. So we had to keep like nodding to each other like 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we have to go. And there was so much messing going on in the best possible way when we were all together. I remember laughing an awful lot at just, there was one point where they were filming behind us, so that was just the back of our heads, and it was when Benedict was doing the big speech, you know what I mean, like his best man speech. And I think it was, I saw Amanda out of the corner of my eye, and she got the giggle or something, and then I started giggling, and then I looked at Louise and Una and everyone sitting at that table, and we were just all just giggling like mad, like absolutely giggling. And then Benedict was giggling and Martin was giggling, and we were all giggling. And that was one thing I remember, because it was that kind of giggling where you can't really get it together. You can't just go, come on, we need to stop doing this. You know, this is a room full of other people, and, you know, the crew were busy, and, that's, I have a really strong memory of that. I do remember, like everyone was messing around so much. I'm sure there was a point where maybe he was dancing like mad, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry to disappoint. But we were all basically being quite naughty at times, from time to time during that week.
And it's speaking of the wedding, I went to Sherlock convention in the U.S., the Sherlock one. They had a U.S. one this year. And I won one of those wedding boxes, you know, the purple ones that were on the tables, the prop pieces.
Oh, yeah.
I won one, and I'm so thrilled. I'm hoping that someday I can have any of the actors that were in the wedding to sign it, you know, even little initials or something, because I'm going to have it shadow boxed with its authentic paper. So
that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's one of my favorite episodes, the one with the wedding and everything. So when I won that box, I was like, this is like having a piece of it, because it was actually one of the little prop pieces. So.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm so glad that it is, because I, as I say, I have such lovely memories of it. You know, I think of it so fondly, so I'm glad that people liked it so much as well, because it was a really special time. You know, it's you know, definitely in my life, in my professional life. But it was just just as I say, a lovely bunch of people, just really special people. So it's a joy to be around.
Yeah, and it is a wonderful episode. So I'm going to skip into the next episode, And I've read pieces too. This is from my friend Megan. She wanted to know
Oh,
about because she's a huge Janine fan. She told me to mention, when I talked to you, she was so excited. And she's working today, but she was like, oh my gosh, just so excited. She said, when the bathroom scene, when you actually walked in there, was that already pre-recorded or were you guys talking? And what was actually going behind the scenes? Were you guys just splashing your hands in like a bucket of water or
oh,
something?
oh, Rosemary, do you want to know something that I don't think I've ever said before? We're not in the room together. When Ben was gone by that stage, so he went in, and then he was finished. I think he was finished for the day. So when I go into the room, I was just in there on my own, and then I think we recorded something separately, but we're not in there together. So when I walk in and he walks in, it's different time. I hope that doesn't ruin anything for anybody, but we're not even in the same room. So
That's cool
yeah,
though, because I don't think fans have ever heard. And she was like, was it pre-recorded or what happened? And I said, I'm going to ask that because that's a great
yeah. No,
question.
I actually, I have a memory as well of being told, "Oh, could you do like a little giggle or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." But yeah, he was gone, so we weren't even must have been like an overlap thing where he did a thing and then I did a thing and they played it together. But yeah, we weren't even in the same room. So yeah, it's just the power of editing.
Yeah. And whenever you're doing like, I was on a show once that was called Comic Book Men. And I was
Oh,
doing a charity thing because I love animals, and I was trying to sell
oh yeah,
something in costume. And the things you see behind the set, the things that you don't see, it's just so
yeah.
amazing. And that's speaking of kitties, my kitty was trying to get my attention, but sorry about that horse throat too.
It's okay.
Um, the things that you don't see behind the set is always interesting because there's so much there
Yes,
that you don't see.
yes, yeah. That's true. I mean, yeah, it's I've got the worst memory sometimes, so it's really weird that I even remembered that. But just when you said it, I was like, oh no, we weren't in the same room together. And even the set for the house and everything, it's like that's just a set. So it's in my mind as well. It's like I just remember a set. Whereas I'm sure when you watch it, it just looks like an actual place where people are, and it's that weird thing of it being completely different in my mind because I first saw it as a set, and it's always going to be.
So, have you,
It's that like behind, like what people see, and then what it's just what you say when you see something
yeah,
the scene is completely different.
have you ever watched that episode to watch the moment with Janine and Sherlock to see
I
how
yes,
different it looks?
I did. It took me a long time to watch it because I hate watching myself, and so I have to watch myself through my fingers. It's a bit like hearing your voice on the phone or whatever when you just go, hey,
Yes, I know what you're
like that.
talking
I
about.
just always go. So it took me about a year, I think, before I watched it. And so I did watch it and then go, isn't that so weird? Because it does look like he just walks into a room and then into the bathroom and then I walk in straight, fairly soon after him. And I was going, we weren't even there. That's so weird. So, yeah, it was weird to see that afterwards.
And then I'm going to take another drink. Actually, I should have made me some tea before I did this. But, and you're the one doing the interview and I'm getting a scratchy throat. Um,
Oh,
so the other question is, and I've read interviews on this, can you share a little bit about the kiss? Was it a lot of retakes or was it just, okay, you're going to do this? And was it supposed to be just one kiss or was it, my friend said, did you add more? Cause it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
just like keep going, I think it was fairly straightforward. I don't remember it being loads of takes, but I remember there being a few angles and stuff. So we do it a few times. But I don't. Also, now it's quite a long time ago, so I remember like afterwards in hindsight, because obviously I couldn't say anything to anybody about what I was doing or you know, what didn't you say to me that you had spent an afternoon basically kissing Benedict Cumberbatch? Why did you never say that to me? I was like, because it was fairly, I think it was fairly quick, and also when something like that happens, you just normalize it and you just go, it's just an afternoon kissing with somebody. It's a bit weird, but you know, because it's a very famous person. But yeah, I think it was fairly straightforward and just as many takes as was necessary to do, and I didn't overstep my boundary. I was very professional, and I didn't try and kiss him when I wasn't supposed to. I don't think he would have appreciated that, so I was very professional.